Come, all you moonshiners, if you want to hear that
Well,
kind of
welcome
bull
back.
that's
I'm George,
here.
and I'm going to do an introduction for all of you hobbyists, you distillers, you brewers, you alchemists, all alike, on the Genio G-Still 50 liter. Now this is the 50 liter model. It comes in 50, 100, 250, all up to 750 liters at present. So the focus is not only on home distillers, and there's a good reason that it's also focused on commercial distilleries as well. And we'll get to that. Now, this is just an innovative design. I've used this and I've run it several times, and I'm telling you, it produces exactly what it advertises. Amazing. You see, this new design and this innovation in how this was designed is a perfect combination. It's that marriage between computer technology, the traditions of the art and the craft, all in one, and you have a touchscreen interface so that you still have 100% control over your process, although once you set it, you can forget it. It'll do this for you. It's simply phenomenal. Now, what it offers is, and this is great, there's two things that primarily it'll offer you. It's going to offer automation, but it's that repetitive one after another result that you get that's always the same, and you know that's critical for our craft. So for the first time in history now, we've put the home distiller on even par with some of our best commercial distilleries. So let me walk you through this introduction, and I'll explain why. Now, our g-still 50 series, a little bit of data and technical information because it helps you make that informed decision. First of all, don't get sticker shock. Yep, this one is $6,800, and it comes crated, delivered right to you. But before you go with the sticker shock, consider what you get for the money. Okay, well, first of all, it's 220 centimeters tall. That's 8 feet 7 inches. So that's a point to consider. The footprint that it takes up is 5.3 square feet, or about a half a square meter. It's 96 kilograms, 212 pounds, so it's pretty hefty. But interesting, the most important aspect that really is, for lack of better words, very interesting for most distillers, is its output level. It's 2.5 liters per hour just for this model, and it gets larger as the models get larger. That's 3/4 of a gallon per hour. Whereas it would take us, what, 3 to 4.5 hours maybe to run that on a traditional still. There's nothing wrong with that. We just now have automation, and it helps us think through that process. Now, it also puts out, and this is in the spirit column mode, it puts out 95 to 96.5% proof from the first drop to the last drop. That I can attest to. The water consumption during the process is what, about, I don't know, but I think it's 130 liters, 34.5 gallons. So don't really get concerned about that, because the water doesn't come on until the computer tells us it's time to happen. It comes on all by itself. And it's controlled by these flow control valves that are located around the still. Again, through the computer and through your touchpad interface. You know, there are some interesting things that you really want to make sure you cover when you talk about something like this. Not only is it the design, but it's the practice and the process. And I want to take this step by step and kind of just show you some of the highlights about what the g-still 50 liter model is all about. Well, to start with, there's the bottom portion of this column, and this column, oh by the way, is 120 centimeters, or 48 inches. And the bottom of this is the catalyst, and that's where we have the spiral prismatic packing. It's made out of copper, and that's to remove the sulfates from your distillate. We're not going to get way in deep about that, but that's where that happens. And then it transitions right into the column, and you've got this portion of the column here. Now, this column, the top column and the kettle all are insulated, which increases efficiency. Now, with that increased efficiency is where you get the increased flow rate, and you also get the 100% precise control. Now, inside this column also are the stainless steel spiral prismatic packing. And it serves the same purpose as any packing you put in your columns, as well as the one in the top. Now, these things run, this one here in particular runs off of 240 volts at 60 hertz. It's capable of being wired for you if you're in a region that has 50 hertz. Or if you need to use three-phase because you're in one of them really large models. That's all very possible, so don't fret. Okay, here we go. Here's what comes attached to the column, because this is a linear process, but everything's been consolidated and stacked in a place where it works to your advantage. Right here is what we have is the filter. And the filter, you've got a cap here, you pull the cap off, you can change out the carbon filter, activated carbon in the filter. But the filter is integrated into the column and is controlled by a flow control valve. Now, directly above this, see, this is the final condenser. See, and the final condenser is where the cold water goes in first and moves its way up. Now, we're going to have to move our way up so I can show you the top of this. Now, you'll notice right above your final condensing station is where is the location with these two electrical connectors is the location of the needle valve. The needle valve with a series of plates in that chamber, and that's controlled by the computer to provide that perfect adjustment so that the flow of alcohol is balanced with the production of alcohol so that there's no loss of efficiency. And then last but not least, at the very top is our reflux chamber, which is our second stop for condensing. So you understand the water goes in here, comes out, and it goes up and it goes in there. You're with me so far? It only gets better. Now, this still was designed with the brewer distiller in mind. So what is really, really interesting and it's really appealing is its ability to do things for you. Because once you have control, which you have 100% control, you just have to have a really good basic understanding of the distillation process, because you can set different variables. Or you can just tell it, just do a regular spirit run, or just do a regular pot still run. And it'll do that for you. It's all preset. Well, when it does that, they put a small table here, a plate, and you place a jar. And when your still's going through its first process and it's heating up, takes about 60 minutes, and it stabilizes, and it starts to produce. Your control pad's going to tell you, hey, we're getting ready to pump out your 4 shots. Make sure you got a jar ready. Roger. And you push OK. Place your jar and it'll start to pump out your 4 shots. Once your 4 shots are pumped out, it'll stop on its own. And once it stops, you just pull the jar out and get another jar. Because the next thing that's going to happen is it's going to say, well, replace the jar because we're getting ready to pump out your heads. Okay. And you place your jar up and then it will pump out all of your heads. It does it all for you. When it gets your heads are all finished, it's going to shut off again. Now, the still's going to continue to run, but the flow will shut off, and you just remove that jar and place it away. So now you have your 4 shots in your heads already separated for you. Now, during the setup, and when you're setting the parameters and your process for your distilling in the first place, you're going to either say spirit or pot. And then you're also going to select whether you're going to filter or not. If you're not going to use the filter, it'll bypass the filter and go right in the collection jar. If you say, yeah, I'm going to filter, you hit filter at the appropriate time when it starts producing your main, all of your hearts, and it's going to tell you. You hit OK, and then your hearts will come through another flow control valve. It'll come through and goes right into the filter and right out of your port. What could be easier than that? Now, that'll happen all the way until it gets to the end of your process. And during that time, it will keep you updated on the temperature of the column, the temperature of the kettle, the temperature at the head, and the temperature of your distillate. It will also tell you what the ABV of the mash left in your kettle is. And it does that through a mathematical program. It's one of those algorithms that it uses. This is phenomenal. It's just the next step or the next evolution of really good distilling practices. Now, I could end there, and that would probably be enough. But it's to be one step further to being amazing is that once this is finished and completed, you'll push yes, it's stopped. Okay, I got you. You'll collect everything, move it all out of the way, connect your hose to your port, and then you get the next screen will say self-cleaning. And you have two options. You can do a self-cleaning rinse, and you put on yes, turn a valve, and that detours the water flow, turn a valve, and your entire column and system is going to be rinsed. A 5-minute rinse will do you justice. And you let all of that run out, and you're ready to refill it and run it immediately again. If it's your final run for the day, well, then you select boil. And what it does is it will flow in the appropriate amount of water necessary. It'll run a boil and rinse right out for you. It's simply amazing. So that is your g-stilg 50-liter model, and I hope that I've satisfied all your curiosities. In the near future, if you have any questions, please get in touch with me. You can send me an email or give me a call. You can also contact Genio direct. Just go on their website, genio.com, and you can see a sample of all the other products they have. Now, in upcoming videos, we're going to do one on this still actually running and producing so we can demonstrate that. Then we'll add one with the gin basket, and we'll make some gin. We'll do several different things so that you can see everything that this thing is capable of doing. And it's capable of doing this over and over and over again. The most important thing. Without further ado, you know what's coming up. Happy distilling.